My name is Elysia English and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, you're here because you love DIYs, upcycling, and thrifting, and that's what this video is all about. I've been noticing at our home decor stores and even online, products that they have are super sparse, and I don't want to be out venturing out too far. And so I'm really having a hard time finding decor pieces for my camper that I can actually put in that are gonna go with this awesome little nautical style that I'm doing in the camper. And so what I wanted to do was hit my local thrift store and see if I could find just a couple small items that I could upcycle to add some of those custom aspects to my space. And so a couple things I've seen online lately was this amazing rug that said Rise or Shine. And I looked at the price point on that rug and it was anywhere between $130 and $200 US, which I'm not gonna pay for a little mat for my camper. And I saw this amazing light that I know would take months probably to ship to me if I could even get my hands on it. So I actually found a few items at the thrift store that I can transform to do kind of lookalikes that are in a much more affordable price point to put in my camper. So we're gonna do some upcycled DIYs today, and then I'm gonna make a little gift for my mother-in-law. If you're new to my channel, you'll know that I have Trash to Treasure series, and since going to the dump right now is not accessible, I wanna make sure that I can still do the Trash to Treasure upcycles. I really love being able to keep things out of the landfill and inspire others to do the same thing. If you wanna see sneak peeks and other tips and tricks on how to upcycle things, you can follow me at Elysia English on Instagram and see sneak peeks of projects that I'm working on even before the videos get uploaded. And if you've noticed, I'm standing in this, what seems to be an unfinished building. This is actually my first DIY in my tiny home studio build that I'm doing. So if you haven't caught that series on my channel, you wanna check out my playlist because I'm building this as an all-women build by myself. I was itching to do my first DIY in here, so that's why we're working in here today. Hey Phil.
Yeah.
I have a great idea.
Oh. It's amazing.
You always love my ideas when I get to make decor and save money while doing it, which is what I'm gonna do because this light at the secondhand store yesterday, has a pretty long cord in it, which is perfect, was only $3.99. When I saw this light, which I was inspired to recreate online, I knew that it was going to cost me several $100s for this light. In the camper, not gonna happen. So I'm going to recreate it using some colors from my camper and redesign this light, which means I'm gonna use some spray paint and I'm going to use my painter's tape, make some lines and change the coloring of this. And this is actually gonna hang in the bedroom space of the camper and it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to get started. So should we start with this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. First thing you want to do when you bring things home from the thrift store is sanitize. You want to make sure that you keep things super clean and remove all of the stickers because oftentimes they're stuck with stickers from the production or from the secondhand store. So I'm going to remove all my stickers, give this a clean, and then I'm going to use my trusty painter's tape to help me transform this light. This is one of the staples I have in my DIY kit. If you don't have painter's tape at home and you do DIYs, you want to get some. The first thing I'm going to do is tape off all the other areas that I don't want my first color of paint. I'm gonna have to work in kind of layers for this since I'm going to use multiple colors, and then it'll make sure that I won't get any on the areas that I don't want my first color. If I can take off this front part and not lose the tiny pieces. I think I can do it. This will make things a lot easier. Ooh, I can do it. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside because this base is going to be one color. I need to tape off this part. That's gonna help me not get any overspray on the areas that I don't want the gold paint that I'm gonna do at the top. I'm going to do just a little bit down the cord because I don't want any overspray. I don't want this to look messy at the end. So I'm going to make sure I don't get any on my cord. That should be good. I'm not going to go crazy, so. All right, so this top part is going to be gold as well as this base. So I'm gonna head over to the grass area so I don't want to pretty up my walls in here with gold paint, and then I'm gonna spray this. You might remember from my camper series that I painted the hardware for my kitchen cabinets with an antique brass. So I'm going to do the same color of spray paint for the base of this light fixture. I'm going to leave the tape on my wiring for now. I have my gold top and it's a little bit tacky still, but I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to do a little more spray painting so then I can let the whole thing dry. So I want to do black stripe, a white stripe, a black stripe, a white stripe. So I'm going to do white first and then see if I can somehow cover this without getting the black paint on it and then go from there. Now, there's tape on the bottom. I'm I'm gonna put it down and make sure that top's all covered. And then I'm gonna remove the bag because I don't want it to stick.
Right.
Okay, what are the chances of this actually work?
Do it. Rip it off like a dirty Band-Aid.
I don't want it to splash any wet paint. The second upcycle project that I want to do is inspired by a rug that I saw online that I wanted for the camper, and because of the price point, there's absolutely zero chances that I'm gonna order this online. But I know that I can recreate this for my own self. And so what I did was in the fabric section, sort of where linens and bedding and stuff were in the thrift store, I was able to find this kind of carpety upholstery fabric type of material. I'm not even sure what type of material this is called, but it feels very rug-like. And so what I'm going to do is fold it in half, and I'm going to create my image on it, assuming that I have kind of already sewed it all the way around. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'll be able to actually know the perfect shape of how I want it once I get my image on. And this cute rug says Rise and Shine, and I just thought it was super cute and perfect for our camper. And of course I want to add that pop of yellow in our space, so that's what I'm going to do for this rug. So I've gone to my Silhouette Cameo and tried to recreate the design as best as I possibly could. Because I'm not reselling this or reprinting, I kind of just traced out the sun image and then created my own fonts for the words Rise and Shine. Using my Silhouette Cameo, I was able to create kind of a rough draft of the mat that I wanted to create. And since I don't want the font to be exactly the same, I chose a font that I wanted to use instead. This will give me a rough template to be able to create this mat, basically the same as I saw it online for a lot more money. I'm going to use my Silhouette Cameo and cut it on some contact paper. So what I'm going to do is cut this out and get it all weeded out, and then I'll be able to apply it to my fabric. I have my image and my transfer tape, and so now I'm going to remove my paper backing and transfer this onto the fabric. I've done lots of different stenciling with fabric, and so I already know that this contact paper sticks pretty well with just a little bit of manipulation, and so I'm going to get this onto my fabric now. And all I'm looking for here is the actual shape of the sun that's on the mat. I'm going to add the wording after, so I'm going to ignore any of the wording that's already in the middle. Pushing it on firmly, and then I can remove my transfer tape. Are you supposed to encourage your stencils to go on the way you want them to? Yeah. I'm like, come on, little guy,
Whisper
you can
sweet
do it.
nothings.
Come on, you can do it.
Come on, stencil.
Super tiny lettering that I've chosen on fabric. Typical me, choose something super overzealous.
You can do it.
Remind me next time to pick bigger block letters.
Oh, this is gonna look good though.
No, S, we need you.
How is it working in your studio?
Well, besides the fact that it's ridiculously hot today,
yeah,
it's amazing.
Well, I mean,
I feel like a month ago we were complaining how cold it was, and now we're complaining that it's super hot.
There's no roof.
Don't rain. There's no clouds. Angles is the key. All right, now all of my vinyl is in place, so I'm going to push it down really firmly and thank it for cooperating. And then I'm going to use my sponge. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, whenever I'm making signs or doing any stenciling, I always use these amazing makeup sponges. I don't really wear any makeup, but I use these for crafting, so I'm gonna use these with my paint, and I always use Beauty Tone paint. It's one of my #1 questions I get asked on my channel. I use Beauty Tone paint. You can find it at Home Hardware, and they have amazing paint lines. So this color that I'm using is actually called Millionaire, which is super cool, and we are going to now paint this. Okay, fingers crossed this works. I had a minor paint explosion.
I think always when you're crafting.
I was like, don't get it on the new floor, and then got it all over the table instead. It's gotta be somewhere. Plus, he didn't want it on my new Elysia English shirt.
Oh yeah, amazing.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I love it already. I love the yellow, it looks great already. It's working perfect, okay.
This project's super fun and super easy, and anyone can do it.
If you don't have a silhouette cameo, you can do this using laminating sheets and an X-Acto knife. I've even done this just using cardstock and a pair of scissors and an X-Acto knife. Even tried using newspaper. You don't have to have a cut machine to make your own stencils. I have some videos on my channel where I show you how you can make stencils without having a cut machine. This is where I always say pinkies up, because for some reason I always have to stencil with my pinky up. Tell me I'm not the only one that does this.
Yeah, you can't be the only one. It seems like it's the proper way to paint.
Well, when you're in English, it is. I'm ready to peel it. Let's see how it worked. Fingers crossed. Okay, how satisfying is that? Okay, come on, letters. I hope it worked. Ah! For real life, that just happened. It's amazing!
Hold it up, hold it up.
Okay. It's still wet. I don't want to mess anything up.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, this worked. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to cut like a crescent shape all the way around. That way it is actually the shape of the sunrise, which I think is super cute. So I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to cut both the front and the back to be the same size, and then I'll be able to stitch them all together at the end, making it a little bit thicker than if I just had one. Okay, are you ready? Can I do this?
Yeah.
All right. I'm like nervous to do the
Yeah,
other side.
I see that. Am I too close?
Stage fright. Okay, I feel like I need to come from this way. Okay, wait, how wide is it? 2 fingers. Okay, that's where I was like eyeballing it the whole time.
I always love your measurement tools. 2 fingers. We got, like, look, there's a tape measure right here, but let's just go with the old-fashioned 2 fingers.
Fingers haven't failed me yet with my measuring skills.
Don't mess this up.
Well, if someone hadn't done an upholstery job on a jackknife couch, these would be cutting really well. That was nerve-wracking. Okay. It's pretty awesome. I have the teeniest, tiniest little spot in front of the toilet by the bathtub in the camper. The floor space is so small because it's like world's tiniest bathroom. And so I'm really happy that it's just gonna be a super small shape. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. If I muck with it, it's going to be, I'll probably mess it up.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Super cute.
I wish you could turn it
It's
around
so tiny.
now. Turn it
Okay, I
around.
think I just need to shave a tiny bit off the one side.
Okay.
I think everyone in our neighborhood decided to cut the grass while we were filming a video, so bear with the noise. But the third DIY that I'm wanting to work on today is actually a small gift for my mother-in-law. She gave me this little footstool that you can put storage in. She loves these little mini footstools. She finds them at secondhand stores all the time. And this needs a serious overhaul. Like, I'm not sure when this was on trend, but certainly isn't right now. But what is on trend is that my mother-in-law loves to do a lot of her own DIY projects. And her and a group of her friends actually did a little class together on indigo dyeing. And she dyed a whole bunch of fabric. And I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. And she gave me a piece of this. So what I'm going to do is paint this adorable footstool for her. And I'm going to upholster the top with this indigo dye fabric that she did, which I think will be super adorable on a little stool like this. Now, my mother-in-law has a lot of mid-century modern and vintage items in her condo, and she doesn't love white. So if this was my stool, I love the blue indigo dye on the top, and I would paint the legs white because super fresh. But she loves color, and I know that blue and orange are complementary. And she just happens to have the most gorgeous sofa of like literally our dreams. It is a beautiful coral orange color. And so what I'm going to do is paint the bottom of this with that orange complementary of the blue and give it a really stylish, colorful look. So I'm gonna paint the bottom base and then upholster the top of the seat. So this is the beautiful coral color that I'm going to paint the bottom, and I'm going to use one of my Elysia English brushes. You can find these in different colors and different sizes on my Etsy shop. Let's get painting. Okay, what a difference compared to this old red. While I'm waiting for the base for this little stool to dry, I'm going to go ahead and use my pneumatic stapler to be able to upholster this. I bought this for maybe about $40 and I use it for all of my upholstery jobs, and the staples to get for it are actually really inexpensive. So I love having this on hand rather than the little hand staplers, because after you do a bigger job, you're like, oh, that sucked. So I'm really happy to have this kind of air nailer with the air compressor. So what I'm doing is I put the right side of this indigo dye fabric down, or what I'm perceiving to be the right side, and I'm going to keep this other piece here, then only cut as much as I think I really need, because I don't want to waste this gorgeous fabric. I'm sure she can use this scrap piece for something else. And then I'm going to upholster. Now, what I did was, there is sort of a circle in the middle here, but I kind of want it off center. I don't really want it to be that center part. Philip and I discussed it and we thought an offset circle would be best for Mom. And so to upholster, I usually start with my centers here on all 4 of the sides, and then I work my way to the corners. Then for the corners, what I like to do is grab the actual corner, pull it in, and put a staple. Then I will take the side pieces here, tuck in the middle, and fold it over. And do that same thing to the other side. So folding in the excess, putting it over. Then I'll just go around and trim off any of the extra that I have. I don't want to go too close to the staples because I don't want any pulling after, some time. You don't want any wear on it. So I'm going to leave a little extra more than I need. And if you want to leave a bunch extra, you just can put a couple extra staples a little further in, especially if it's on the underside, you're not going to see it. Left some room for my hinges. And then I have a gorgeous little upholstered top to be able to put on the little bench. So I think I'm ready to put on a second coat. I have all 3 of today's DIYs completed, and I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. And thinking about how much money I saved being able to create these myself from upcycled trash items that I turn into treasure, I'm pretty happy with them. This light is amazing. I still have a few little touch-ups I think I'll do once my spray paint has cured for a little while, because it's kind of humid today, but overall I think it turned out really cute, and I got a really inspired look from that light, and I think it really accomplished that. I love that the gold is the same as the hardware in my camper, and the black and white is going to add that contrast into the bedroom space where I have the blue shiplap and all of the amazing bedding you guys are going to see this week that's going to go in that space. I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks great. Let me know what you think in the comments. So that's our DIY number 1. And my second was that very expensive rug that I found online, which I definitely wasn't gonna pay that price for. Look at how adorable this turned out. I'm still gonna put a little bit of batting in the middle and stitch all the way around these 2 layers here, probably tonight when the kids go to bed and I have some free time, but I think overall it looks super cute. And it's more for decor purposes in the camper than it is really for functionality for an actual mat, since the bathroom is super small anyways. And then our third DIY, I think my mother-in-law is going to love to go in her living room space, which is the indigo dye fabric top on this cute little footstool. Probably still gonna do another coat of paint after the paint cures for a little while, but the coral is gonna match her amazing vintage sofa that she has. I think she's really gonna like it. I hope that today's DIYs will inspire you to turn your own thrifted or trash items into your own home decor treasures. Not only will it save you some money, but these are actually really amazing custom items you can now put into your own spaces. If you love to do these types of projects, please subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below which was your favorite today, the light, the mat, or the stool. I want to let you know that we have a giveaway this month for some amazing handmade merch, as well as merch from our new merch launch, Bunker Branding, and I'm going to be giving away a package to one of our YouTube subscribers. In order to enter into this giveaway, you need to be subscribed to our channel and comment on my tiny home studio build video. I'm going to leave the card above for you in the description below. You need to comment on that video for your chance to win our giveaway. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for always supporting all of my dreams on my channel. I love you guys, and I'll see you on our next project.